Thank you. Hey, sorry, I'm really nervous, so I do what I always do when I'm really nervous, which is I sneak off into a shady spot and watch Neville's speech to Voldemort in the last Harry Potter. Just emboldens me. Sometimes you have a day where you don't realize it at the time, but things turn around. Let me start here. The 2016 election happened, and then a year and a half later, I ended up in a drug and alcohol rehab facility. You don't seem to know how to feel about that as an audience, and it's perfect, because I still really don't know how to feel about that as the person telling you the story. So, did I make it weird? I'm sorry. So I go in, and I was running, the way I dealt with my feelings was I was running a political comedy and storytelling show in Philadelphia, and I was drinking like every night. It was bad, and I went in, and one day I just gave up, and I went to a facility around here, actually, and I don't know if you've ever been to a drug and alcohol rehab facility, but the people there don't always have the best manners. Like one day, I was waiting in line to get my food, and someone said, "That's my effing fork," and I said, "It won't hurt you to say please." But somebody found out that I do like stuff like this, and they said, "We heard you do comedy." I said, "It's not comedy exactly. I mean, it is, but it's more storytelling. I also write and coach slam poetry, like so it's stand-up comedy." I was like, "No, not exactly. It's like storytelling, but I do comedy, but I also coach and write some slam poetry. No, so it's like stand-up comedy." I was like, "Yeah," and so we're in a group one day, and we're talking about like some really serious topic, like addiction and death. And someone says, "Steve does comedy. He should tell some jokes." I was like, "I don't think it's a great room for comedy right now." And they're like, "Why not?" I was like, "I'm just reading the room." And one day I was standing in line. Someone made fun of was making fun of my Fruit of the Loom boxer briefs that I was wearing. I said, "I wear them for comfort, not for fashion." And a lot of things happen. We usually would have a meeting every night to talk about all the problems and things that are going on. And one night, things were really bad. Like, I don't remember exactly what was happening. There were fights going on. So they canceled the meeting, and they were going to do some kind of other activity. And I'm walking towards where we're supposed to go. And one of the counselors comes up to me and says, "We canceled the meeting tonight, and we think it would be great. We got everyone in the room if you would do some stand-up comedy." I was like, "I don't really do stand-up." All right, so, but someone else gets up before me. They play it. This is like young, good-looking guy. He plays acoustic guitar. I'm like, "That's not fair." And they're like, "Here to do some hilarious comedy is Steve." And I get up, and I was like, "I thought this was supposed to be anonymous." All right, so I'm there, and I say, "Okay, I'm just going to read out of my notebook. I've written some things, and I'm gonna do what I've written." So I say, this first thing is a slam poem that I've written called "Don't Make Fun of My Undies." And it kills. It goes great. Like, the audience loves it. They laugh. Like, I don't know if I meant this to be funny, but whatever. All right, so the next thing I do is I say, I'm going to read. I'm not a songwriter, but I wrote this song. And it goes like this. It's to the tune of the 12 Days of Christmas, but it's the 12 days of drug and alcohol rehab. And I'm nervous. But I start it and I say it. It goes, "On the first day of drug and alcohol rehab, my counselor gave to me And they love it. They laugh like crazy. By the end, everyone's singing, everyone cheers for me, people are clapping and going crazy, and I'm like, I just want to do comedy in rehab for the rest of my life. This is the best crowd I've ever performed for. And, you know, I was feeling terrible at the time, but that felt really good. And since then, thank you. Next week I'll have 8 months without drinking. Thank you. And they haven't all been happy days, but there's more than I can remember in recent history. So thank you so much.